Fruitarians usually get into this lifestyle for health reasons. Usually a lot of these people have been suffering with physical issues for years, whether it's chronic or acute illnesses, and they're on their quest to find a healing protocol. And usually they've come from trying other healing protocols such as paleo or GAPS or, any of these other ways, these other diet manipulation trends to try to heal themselves. So they have good intentions and they're very vulnerable because they're just hurting and they want to feel better. Or they're the people that really just want to do it for the animals. And so these are all really good intentions. Or they just want to get healthy and they're trying to, just be a healthier human being because they're seeing the detrimental effects from food additives and chemicals and dyes and all of that nonsense. It's good intentions, and it's not that they are restricting the foods because simply just weight loss or trying to stay really skinny. So for anorexics, that's usually the determining factor, is that they are afraid of weight gain, but when they eat, either they are super pure and clean when they do eat, or they eat something that's junky and they still have a lot of off-limit fear foods as well. But their intentions aren't to heal or to cleanse or to get healthy. It's simply just more for weight loss, or, if they're dealing with control issues, and that gives them a sense of control. A lot of people I have noticed, including myself, have come from a past of trauma. So they have mental anguish and trauma that has happened to them in their life, which leaves us feeling out of control in that situation, whether it's out of control of our body, out of control of the situation, just feeling out of control. And so after that, our subconscious, wants to go into a survival mode, and it wants to make sure that it will have control of its body or situation from there on out. So that could manifest in so many different ways, and a lot of people, it manifests in food and their body. They try to control their food intake, the food type intake. They try to control their weight. They try to control, their whole physique. That gives you that sense of control. But it's not healthy control. And that's why I say, you gotta let go of toxic control in order to regain healthy control. And you have to realize that we really don't have any fucking control at all in this life. That was a huge shift in my healing process, was coming to the fact that a lot of all of this disordered behaviors has stemmed from trauma in my past and when I was growing up. And I didn't ever want to see it as that because I was always telling people and therapists and family and friends that knew what happened to me. I was telling them like, oh no, I'm so over that. That doesn't even affect me. But then later on, as life progressed, certain things would come up, and I started to realize that stuff did subconsciously affect me. And randomly I would just have crying spells when someone brought it up, and I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. Like, it doesn't affect me. Like, totally in denial. And connecting the dots and seeing that just because it doesn't seem to affect me now, it was the main trigger that started all of this. So it triggered me into wanting to control my food intake, which started anorexia at only 14 years old. And then that progressed into control around my food and my body when I was into fitness modeling and competing. That gives you a huge sense of control because you literally are controlling everything. You're counting, measuring, tracking, calculating every food, every meal, every macro, and every workout, every rep. You're always weighing yourself, pinching yourself. It's just a whole bunch of control. So that progressed into bulimia, which led me feeling very out of control because I was feeling like I was losing control because now I was binging and purging, and because I couldn't control my food intake because biology was winning, like it usually always will. Biology will win or you'll die. That's the reality of it. I wanted to regain that control back. So I still tried to fight this. I tried to fight my body's cravings, my body's cries for food and nourishment and safety, that it's not going to be starved anymore. And I was not giving my body that. I wasn't listening. I was like, no, my body doesn't know what it wants. I know what it wants, and everybody else knows what it wants. I can control this. My body's lying to me. My body's trying to undermine me. Why do I have all these cravings? And so that led into just my physical health just totally going downhill, and it led into fruitarianism, which is just another form of control. Huge control. I mean, you're controlling only fruit, raw fruit and vegetables, and high quality at that, into your body, and you control the situation. Like if you go out to a social situation, or you don't, most oftentimes you don't, you'll bring a Tupperware full of fruit or a smoothie, or you'll order some salad with no salad dressing on it. And that's all forms of control. You don't want to feel out of control, because that's uncomfortable. That's really uncomfortable. It's unsafe. And so realizing this, that a lot of the physical problems actually have a huge connection to past mental trauma. And once I started to wake up to this fact and completely just say, you know what, none of this has been working for me. Fuck it all. I need to step back and really change something, because at this point I am going to die. Like I said in my other videos, I tried to fight it, but eventually I got to the point where I was just like, fuck it all. That fuck it mindset. And that's when I started to see my health just coming back to me. Over a long period of time, of course, it's just letting go of all of this shit that we take in as a distraction, and start to really get to the core of where all this started from. Because seriously, living life just all the time, 24/7 consumed with food, whether it's talking about food, researching about food, tracking food, reading about food, watching food porn, or what I eat in a day videos, or the nutritional profile and ratios and percentages of all foods and meals. And that is not what life is about. Life is not about food. Food is just one little aspect of what life is about to help us to continue on living fully. Food should be just easy and instinctual. The hardest thing for fruitarianism is recovery too. I know someone who stayed in an eating disorder clinic when they were trying to recover from fruitarianism. And the fruitarians actually have a lot more physical distress and a hard time reintroducing foods into their system than even anorexia patients do. I honestly don't know what it is, but you can see that when fruitarians try to recover and become a normal human being again and just eat whatever, they pay for it. They are in debilitating pain. Personally, my liver it felt like knives were stabbing in it. I had pains all throughout my small intestine, and just horrible bloating and gastroparesis, where your stomach it just feels paralyzed. Well, it is paralyzed just because it's weakened from not having to do any work or digestion for so long. So it delays the emptying of the stomach contents into the rest of the digestive tract, to try to also conserve energy, because your body doesn't know when it's going to be in a famine again. So your whole metabolism, your whole digestive tract slows way down to try to extract every minute amount of energy it can from the small amount that's coming in. And whether you're eating 3,000 calories from banana smoothies or not, it weakens our system in such a crazy way because of the unbalanced nature of fruitarianism. It's the worst. Anorexics, yeah, they have bloating, and they may have, some nausea, but it doesn't seem as crazy, not near as crazy as what fruitarians actually have to do to recover. And they're usually eating a lot more consistently throughout the day. It's just fruit and raw. It's just all raw. I know my digestion didn't get nearly ever as bad until I was a fruitarian. The problem with fruitarianism is that a lot of fruitarians don't even think that they have a problem. I was in so much denial for so long that I pushed my body to its limits, to almost death. I literally felt like I was dying every single night because I was stuck on this ideology that this was the only way to true health and healing and detoxification and optimal health as a human being. And it was debilitating because it blinded me. I didn't see that what I was doing by all the restrictions, by only eating fruit and some raw vegetables and some raw nuts and seeds, that was actually contributing to all of the physical and mental issues that I was facing. And there are laundry lists on laundry lists on laundry lists of symptoms that I was facing, and I would just obsessively write them down, focus on them, feel like shit about them. That's all I could focus on, was either the food that I was going to eat. I was researching about nutritional facts. I was talking about food. That's all I could talk about was nutrition. It just consumed my life. I was obsessed, as with a lot of other people in the community. So it blinds you in a sense that because you think that this is the only way, this is the truth, you finally found the truth, the holy grail of all of healing and health. It's hard to look outside of that once you're so deep within all of it. That's the hard part. You're within this dogma and this lifestyle, but yet you're feeling like shit. But at the same time, you're going around to everyone, loved ones, friends, online forums, and you're touting this lifestyle as the most optimal way, and you've healed this issue and that issue. You've felt better than you've ever felt in years, but it's all a lie and it's all fraud because you're actually feeling like complete shit. You don't want to admit to it because you have this promise that has been given to you that somewhere down the line you'll finally heal all of your health issues through detoxification and fasting and just being all raw. And the more you push, even though if you are feeling like death, that you just need to keep pushing and detoxing and keeping with it, and it's all just going to magically clear up. And I did that. I stuck with it to a T, and I tried every version of raw veganism, and I just kept getting worse. I kept getting more obsessed, more isolated, more sick. I was bedridden. I couldn't even walk to the bathroom or around the block without being so fatigued. I felt so weak and fragile, and I was still going around actually telling people that this was the best diet to be on and that I actually had healed some of my health issues. And it's because I believed it and I wanted to believe it so bad, and I was seeing all these other testimonials. But and if I did see any negative testimonials, like people bashing it, a whole defense mechanism would pop up, and I would be like, oh no, they're just crazy. They were doing it wrong, or, there must have been something wrong because this is the only way. And so you just defend this ideology. But I kept going with it for years. So there you go, in a nutshell. That's how fruitarianism ruined me. There's a lot more to it, but either I can't remember it right now or it's just too much because it is a whole pile of craziness, fruitarianism. It's a crazy ride. It's a crazy journey. It's a hell of a high, and it sucked. I met some really nice people along the way, but I also met a lot of people that were not nice when they found out that I was no longer fruitarian. So I don't really care. Haters gonna hate, and I have to get this message out because I am tired of seeing people struggle and not being able to let go when things are not working for them. Okay? Hopefully you're not one of those people. It's a crazy ride. Good luck.